Hello there, Taurus. Michele B here. Now, you know that I don't like to focus a lot on the really dramatic storylines when I'm doing the tarot readings, but the cards are what they are, and when I see some dramatic stuff happening, I have to go with it, right? So we do have some cards that are pretty intense on that conflict with like romantic conflicts that has to do with a lot of heartbreak and decisions that you two have to make together. And I'm seeing some codependency happening where you're not happy together, but you're not happy apart either. So if that storyline resonates with you, Taurus, go ahead and keep watching and make sure and give it a thumbs up if you appreciate the advice that you get. If you're not resonating with this storyline, Taurus, if that's not you, make sure and check out your readings for your rising, your moon, your Venus, your Mars on my channel or on the many other tarot readers channels here on YouTube. There's lots of us, all kinds of advice. And what matters is that you get what you need, right? It doesn't matter who you get it from or under what sign you hear it under. Okay, so are we ready to hear the drama? We're ready to get the tea? Okay, I started out with, I trust my inner voice. This is an affirmation that I pulled for you so I knew what direction to go when I started pulling the cards and looking at them. And so that, I feel like this affirmation is the overall guidance that you want to come out with, because like no matter what you're going through right now, if you are quiet and you eliminate the anger and you eliminate the fear out of your vibration, and you're just quiet and stable within yourself, you're like, my inner voice says I'm fine. My inner voice says that everything's going to be okay. Eventually, everything's going to be okay. But there is work to do. I have some things that I have to sort out in order to get to that peaceful place in my outer world. But I can be at peace in my inner world. So let's start with that, because no matter what's going on in your environment, you can be at peace inside. Okay, now let's go forward. What to embrace and what to leave behind. We got the Lovers here for what to embrace going forward for the next couple of weeks. And this is all about making some really consequential decisions between yourself and another person. How are the two of you going to go forward? How are the two of you going to go forward in a way which benefits both of you and causes the least amount of damage to the both of you? You're also, you're embracing what you've done to each other in the past. And when you have a significant, passionate relationship with another person, I know you hate the drama. I know you hate the drama, but it happens when you have a significant relationship with another person. It's, like you piss each other off in very minor ways and sometimes in huge ways. You trigger each other. You are attracted to each other. Most karmic relationships are an attraction that are based on triggers. So whatever it was that triggers you emotionally from the attachments that you had in your childhood, however you attached with your significant parent, be that the father figure or the feminine figure, however you attach significantly emotionally in kind of a negative way, that's what you're looking for subconsciously in your relationships going forward. You're like, I'm going to make that, if you're identify as feminine, you're like, I'm going to make that masculine energy finally pay attention to me instead of being, off somewhere else. Or I'm going to make that feminine finally take care of me the way that they're supposed to. That's what you're trying to make them do when you're in the relationship. You're trying to make them into the parent that you wish that you'd had. It's weird. It's Freudian. I know. But I've seen it happen in my own life again and again, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to change that person into the father that I wish that I had. Ick, right? So none of us are innocent, even though you can still look at your partner and be like, there are things that they did that they should not have, right? We all behave badly sometimes, and definitely you've seen your partner behave in ways that you just can't. Like, you could objectively look at it and say they're allowed to do that on their own time in their own space, but they can't do it in my presence. They can't do it in a way that negatively affects me. So you get to draw the line about that and be like, okay, I'm not going to obsess about how they hurt me anymore. I'm going to put that behind me, but here's my boundary. This is what I'm not going to tolerate anymore going forward. And so it's just like the boundary that you're putting up as you're leaving it behind, the boundary that you're putting up is an unemotional boundary. You're detaching emotion from the boundary. You created the boundary because it triggered a negative emotion, but the boundary is not emotional. It's like, this is just this is just policy. There's no, when you have a policy, like, sorry, you got to wear a shirt when you go inside the mini mart, right? You have to wear shoes and a shirt. Now you have to wear a mask when you go in the mini mart. There's no emotion behind it. Just do it so you can buy your milk, right? So this is my boundary. I don't put up with you flirting with other girls in front of me. Okay, that's just what it is. I don't have a relationship with people that do that. I don't have a relationship with people that are drunk for a week solid. I just don't do that. Stuff like that, right? So you're at a point where you're like, okay, these are the boundaries that I have. Now what are we going to do about that? Because it's in direct conflict with who they think they are. That's why I have the devil here, looking at your internal landscape. Here's the devil coming through, being like, could be codependency in their behavior, and it triggers you to be codependent with them. Or it could be that together or they alone have substance abuse issues. The devil did come up twice. So it could be that you trigger each other into substance abuse. That could be it. You trigger each other into obsessive behaviors that you think that you can't help, that you think that you have no control over. But you, Taurus, are sick of it. You're sick of how it's negatively impacting your life. That's why we've got both the King of Swords. The King of Swords and Justice are both there. The masculine and the feminine are both there wielding their sword, being like, oh, there's the sword right there. Sword here, sword here. You're both wielding your sword, being like, this isn't working. There's a sense of something that's not fair. And like I said, the fairness, something's negatively in their behavior is negatively impacting you, whether that be you feel like you're drug into behaviors that you don't want to be engaging in, or they're doing things that are hurting your feelings. Three of Swords often indicates third parties, okay? So it could be the devil is there, maybe your need for validation outside of the relationship, you know? It's just like, this isn't fair, this isn't working for me, I've had it, right? And then finally we have the, what do we do now? And that dovetails well with that, what do we do now, right? What do we do now? How is this going to manifest for us going forward? We know the emotional state. So you're like, okay, get back to my inner voice. Get back, what is this? What does my inner voice say? No matter what, I'm okay. If I completely detach myself objectively from the situation, I'm okay. Objectively, I'm looking at this and I'm being like, that's not fair for me. You should be able to do what you want to do. Just not on my time, because that's not fair for me. Okay. Pardon me, adjusting my blouse. I made it myself and it likes to scrunch up. I love it though. I love the shoulders. It looks so good. Okay, so let's look at your advice going forward, Taurus. What is your advice? I love that the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands both came up. And they're like, what does your heart say? And do that. Your heart says, I just like got this like sound, this voice in my head. That's the way that the advice comes through. It's like, mention this. Here's the voice. My heart says I love them. My heart says I love them. But there are some really unhealthy behaviors going on. You can love someone deeply and still protect yourself. You can still protect yourself because the temperance is here to remind you, you have to be balanced in all things. How many, really feel like so much like I'm speaking to the feminine here, and you could identify as masculine and be in the feminine role in this situation, okay? So I'm looking at the storylines that we see, like the tropes that we see in our society. The female that is in a relationship with someone who has substance abuse issues. And they love them so much. They love that there's so many good things about their partner, but their partner keeps hurting themselves and putting their own family, the people that they love, in danger as a result of it. You know, you have to see them sick. You have to pick up the pieces for them. You have to, pick up when they peed all over the floor in the bathroom. You got to clean that up. You have to listen to them talking about who they flirted with at the bar. There's just like so many little things that just hurt, that just aren't fair. And who's going to protect you except you? Because this person can't protect you. And when they're under the control of the devil, they can't protect you. Okay? And you can't protect them because they keep throwing themselves under the bus and they're bringing you along with them. You can love them. They're lovely people, but you have to protect yourself. You have to be that father figure that you needed when you were a child. Okay? Because you needed, see where I'm coming around full circle with this? You needed a father that would protect you, that would make the choice to protect you. And you're hoping that the masculine in this case will do that for you, but they're not able to right now. So you have to be that person for you, even though you love them. So I'm not getting a huge financial influence when I'm talking about like the reality, the pragmatic reality of detaching from a person that has issues like this, like going on that tangent. But however you can become economically independent so that you can, make adjustments for this person to be able to, make that detachment. I love you very much, but I can't live in this kind of situation. It's not healthy for me. You are free to make those choices that you do, but I cannot be in that environment. It hurts me too much. My inner voice says that's enough. That's enough. No more. Okay. My inner voice says it's time to stop this cycle of waiting for the masculine to look out for my best interest, because they're not. Okay. In the vibration that I'm in, I'm not being protected by the masculine. I have to protect myself. And when I detach vibrationally from that scenario of being the victim that's not being protected, then I can attract a masculine, whether it be this masculine or whether it be another masculine that will be considering my best interest. There we go, Taurus. Like I said, if you resonate with this story, give it a thumbs up if you got meaningful advice from it. There's a lot of practicalities. There's, for any of you out there who are in love with someone with substance abuse issues, look up all the resources that you can for being a person that cares about someone. What do they call that? It's not Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's the family's version. I can't remember what that is. Anyway, there are lots of resources on YouTube as well for talking about what you're experiencing. Okay. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't already, and I have an Instagram page, so the link is in the description box below. You can follow me over there and we can be friends. Yay! And I will see you again soon, 12 days, 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have a way better story for you. Love you. I'll see you later, Taurus.